Since April 1990, the Timbuktu Collective has worked unerringly to empower the rural population to lead self-determined and sustainable lives. The collective, based in Andhra Pradesh, has over 200,000 members, including peasant farmers and rural workers. Along with his wife Mary, Bablu Ganguly is the driving force behind the collective's deep commitment to social, gender, and ecological harmony. At the center of the work is Timbuktu, a 32-acre agroforest habitat and intentional community that prioritizes natural regeneration, organic gardening, renewable energy, and sustainable living. Mr. Ganguly has driven the ecological movement at Timbuktu with a focus on food security and sovereignty. He is a development activist, social entrepreneur, and changemaker with 40 years of experience working with marginalized and rural populations. It is an honor to have him deliver the inaugural speech for the 16th Kirloskar Vasundhara Film Festival.
Greetings from Timbuktu and Timbuktu Collective. I am so honored to be part of this wonderful festival, the Kirloskar Vasundhara Film Festival of 2023. Theme for the festival this time is about nutritious food, health of the society, and flourishing nature. And that this will be also the theme in the continuing other new edition. You will be interested to know that in the collective, our themes of work are basically the same. And in the whole organic agriculture framework world over, there are 4 principles. The principle of ecology, the principle of health, fairness, and care. And all these 4 are part of the theme of this year's festival. I do believe that the starting point for any of this discussion has to be flourishing nature, or shall I say, ecology. The tragedy is that we have so alienated ourselves from nature that we do not even recognize that we are part of nature. And so, in fact, what happens to her happens to us. I began working in rural Andhra Pradesh more than 4 decades ago. It took me over 12 years to understand and fully comprehend what Gandhiji and his economist, Sri Kumarappa, had written and talked about, and how relevant it is even today. Once we had understood this, my partner and I decided to move out from the politics of agitation to the politics of dissent. We decided to do constructive work and build alternative models of all the dreams that we had been dreaming about, the change that we had wanted to see. We went and we bought a small piece of dry, barren land that basically represented the dry lands of Anantapur district. And there we started doing agriculture. And of course, nothing was produced. And then we realized that what the land needed was healing. Not just the land, the forests around us, the animals, the people, in fact, the whole world and whole nature as it is needed healing. This was one of the first insights that we got. We also realized that for centuries now, for more than 5 to 6 centuries, we have been doing everything to alienate ourselves from nature. And in the process, we have been destroying her rather than celebrating her. After seeing how nature was reviving herself in Timbuktu, we reached out to the villages around us and we asked them if they wanted to do what we were doing. They saw, they understood, and today there is over 7,000 acres of land that is being protected, 7,000 contiguous acres of land that is being protected by 9 villages. We started with 21 species in 1991, and today there are over 400 species of just flora. And that is just absolutely incredible that a community of people can actually protect, conserve, regenerate, and nurse back to life land that has been wasted over years. That to me is flourishing nature. We have to look very closely at the economic model that we are following. Because economy and the economic model that we follow actually leads us into what we are following now, leads us into a destructive mode. Not only do we have to look at the economic model, we have to also look at the relationships that we are building, the kind of relationships that we have in all the transactions that we do with each other. We realized that organic farming was the only way possible. And so today we have a farmers cooperative that has over 2,000 members who own over 11,000 acres of land that is 100% organic certified. The cooperative buys all the produce of the farmers, processes it, and then sells it into the market through about 450 retail stores across South India. This was again a decision that was made that our products would not be sold abroad, our products would not be sent to more than 400 or 450 kilometers from its point of produce. This, of course, has increased the earnings of the farmers by at least 25%. And at the same time, both the growers and the eaters, about 45,000 eaters, get good, nutritious food. Along with this, the soils have been rejuvenated, lesser and lesser water is used, there are tree crops that are being grown, and there is enough and more biomass that is coming in, along with cattle. We realized that there was a high incidence of disability in the district. And so we did a large study to identify what kind of disabilities were there in our working area. Today, the collective has established cross-disability groups, or sanghas as we call it, and then federated them to form the Pratibha Cooperative. It is a cooperative with all disabled people as their members. It also takes up livelihood programs for people with disabilities. They produce one of the finest soaps that I have seen with 5 different oils. And this gives them a kind of a sense of dignity so that they are able to earn some money. To us, this is all part of this healthy society that we are all talking about. We need to include people who are excluded, and this is extremely important. I believe that if we have to work towards the whole idea of nutritious food, healthy societies, and flourishing nature, then this is the minimum that we need to do. The minimum that has to be done, along with, of course, all the SDGs. I do believe that if we all come together to address these problems constructively, we learn to celebrate life, then we will surely be able to reverse what has been done. Not just for us, the humans, but for all life, for all beings who live on this planet, so that we can make a healthy planet, a planet not just for the immediate future, but for the future generations to come.